nice to be able to go out and if I want a shag, I can get a shag, and it's not a bad thing in a way. I think if it's between two consenting adults and you're being safe, then there's nothing wrong with it. And there's nothing wrong with the orgasm at the end of the day. That's all it's about. So I think I just like, it's great.
So I remember they were kind of like one in, one out at a point, so I didn't have any sleep. And like, I was lining them up, so like literally when one left, the next one was coming along.
You know, I know when I go into a club, like I think about if I'm gonna go home with anybody and how many drinks I've had.
You don't even actually have to speak to the person, you can just have casual sex or sexual relationships without actually knowing their name, and basically it's like shaking hands nowadays.
I don't really tell my friends back home about what happens sometimes because they're always like, oh, James, you shouldn't be doing that, oh my god. And when I was back there last, Donna was like, oh, like, that girl, she's had like sex with like 4 people. I'm like, 4? Like, fuck.
Grindr. Grindr is an application you can get on your smartphone, and it basically tells you how many meters away you are from the nearest gay person that is actually online at the time. And basically it's mostly used for sex. You get a wide variety of people that are on there, from like your transsexuals to your big fat men to your twinks to your people that are wanting to basically have casual unprotected bareback sex. It's a whole spectrum.
I would use it for like hookups, just one-time things, but then, you know, like there's been occasions when I've used it for dates with people, or, you know, I found one of my previous relationships through Grindr.
It's such an easy way of meeting people. It just shows you their location, what they look like, you can chat to them, it's an easier icebreaker. It's just an easy platform to meet people. That's why I used it. Also, I wanted the hole, so.
I'm a gay man. I don't consider myself to be promiscuous, so I don't think the stereotype is true for everybody, but I do think it's certainly more common in the gay world than the straight world.
I can't say if they're like just as promiscuous. Maybe they are like guys who sleep with a girl every single night. I don't know their world as much as I know our world in a way.
No. It's like saying bisexual people are greedy. You know, like it just makes no sense to me.
I lost count. It's about 30-ish just now. Yeah, I like started having sex in September 2012. So in 2 years I've done 30 people-ish.
I can get up to 52, and after that, God knows. Genuinely, God knows after 52.
I don't know. It looks a piece of string.
There's a line between, you know, there's certain gay men that are promiscuous, there's others that are not. And it just really depends on the person more than the actual stereotype as to whether that person is promiscuous or not.
It's really easy to have sex with another guy when it's just 2 guys. It's just, you don't really have to, there's just a look. And when you get the look, you just know. I've had it before when I've been in Top Man, just trying to buy a t-shirt to like get home, because I stayed out that night. And the guy was just started randomly picking up stuff, and he looked at me. And then he like started to walk towards the change room, so I was like, I don't know what's happening here. So I just grabbed the nearest thing and followed him, then we ended up like having a little casual fun in the changing rooms. There's days where I'll have different relations with like quite a number of different guys, and sometimes more than one at the same time. A lot.
I don't think any relationship in any sense is truly loyal, you know. I think you kind of sit there and you can look at any couple and you could be like, actually, these people could cheat on each other, so could like straight people, so could gay people, so could bisexual people, you know, anybody can cheat.
I've only properly been in like one proper relationship, and that was my first relationship with that guy, and I did cheat on him. And then there was another guy, and that was kind of like pretty much a short-term relationship, but I did cheat on him as well.
We were living together for a couple of months, but then the last couple of weeks leading up to December, things weren't quite right. There was like a weird, something wasn't quite there. I didn't feel he was quite there. It was one morning when I woke up. I sort of looked over to his phone. Well, he was on his phone on the couch, and I sort of looked over, and I kind of felt like I got a glance of Grindr on his screen. And at the very start of our relationship, we deleted it off our phones. Because of course you don't need Grindr when you're in a relationship.
The worrying thing is when you hook up with a guy and then afterwards they're like, oh, I've got a boyfriend, and you're like, really? Really? And it just sort of breaks down my hope of like a boyfriend and a husband and blah blah blah. It's sad. And
I downloaded Grindr on my phone to have a look for him to see if he was on it. And at first I didn't see any sign of him at all. Eventually I discovered like a wee thumbnail of like a chin downwards, and I don't know what it was, but I just recognised it was his chin. Yeah. Eventually I did look and I found the photo, and I found some various other photos, so I kind of confirmed it was actually him. And at that point it was just like, yes, I actually know now.
Like, nobody actually knows the definition of a slut anymore. They kind of sit there and they throw it as if it's an insult, and I'm kind of like, give me something I've not heard before, please. You know.
Is there even any point to look for another relationship after this, you know? Why don't I just sort of do what everybody else does and just, you know, be a slut?
I would hope that in that many years' time, if I do have someone that I care about, that I wouldn't still be going out on the scene and still hooking out with people or like whatever.
I'm confident that I will find a loyal relationship with a guy eventually. I don't necessarily believe that it'll be my next one, but I'd like to hope it would be. And I suppose that's the thing that keeps me going, you know, sticking to my values and stuff, is because I do believe that eventually there will be somebody else that shares my values and stuff.
We'll see. Who knows what the future might hold? I could like walk down to the bus stop tomorrow and meet someone and that's it. But I'm not really looking for anything at the moment, but I'm not saying that I'm not open for it, because I think if you're always constantly looking for it, then like what are you going to find? Just like the first person that comes along, and I'm just not looking for the first person that comes along. I need somebody special that's going to be what I'm looking for, and I don't know what I'm looking for, so I guess when I find it, I'll know it.